Hello there and welcome. I'm Ole Brøgger, and if you're new here, I really hope I'll earn your subscription today. In my hunt for the perfect laser cutter that can do all the tasks that I really need to be done in a hurry, Creality reached out to me and sent me this Falcon 2 Pro. And I'm very excited about this machine because I have great expectations to how it performs, because this is a 60 watt machine and it could be able to cut through very thick wood or thin wood very fast. First I will walk you through what's inside the box and then we will need to assemble it. We better get started. I have laid everything out here on my table and this is what's in the box. First, of course, we got this 60 watt laser module. I'm very excited about having a look at this later. And then we got some tools and cables. You will have to do some assembly with this machine, but I don't mind that because then I will get more familiar with how the parts work. We also got a fan duct here and some clamps, a huge power supply because it requires a lot of power here. And safety, that's a very good thing. We got air pump, and then I actually got a kind of a laugh when I saw this because 1.6 watts of power. This is an extra free thing they put in this box, and it's such a cute little tiny laser module. Look how cute it is, and look at the size difference. But don't underestimate this because a 1.6 module is a very nice thing to have if you're doing some fine stuff and fine engravings, because this one here has a very tiny beam and you can do such fine details in the wood. Of course you can still do that with a 60 watt, but that's more for cutting. Then we got some side covers over here and we have to peel this. This is always fun to do if it's not too stuck, but at least I don't have any screws in the way, so this was pretty easy. Well, maybe I will have to take this fan off, but it should be easy to do. And they also provided some decent sizes of wood. They actually gave me a couple of boxes of it. So this is going to be fun and we're going to cut a lot. And this was not the only thing they sent me, because what I'm extra excited about is this air purifier. It will just suck in all the smoke and filter it, and you shouldn't have any smell. And that means I can actually use this laser here in my office and I don't have to go to my workshop. So this is going to be very cool. But I'll start to assemble all this and then we will do the testing. Oh yeah, before we start assembling this, I want to test how safe is this protection glass. And as you can see, it is not penetrating this safety glass. Okay, time to assemble this machine. I will speed up the process so you don't have to wait. Okay, now the machine is assembled, I will just jump right into it and start testing it. And I will start testing it with one of my houses. Just one floor, because that's what I need for my next Dungeons and Dragons session. Oh, this has the same problem with noise as my other laser. But wait, what? It was just for the boot sequence? Oh, this is nice. I'll start with the design from my doors. I need to engrave both sides, and I'll just see how fast it goes. I also got the camera working and calibrated it, and it just works fine. It should be pretty easy to line up this element and start engraving it. And this engraving was done in about 9 minutes. It usually takes me 15 minutes to engrave one side. Now we just have to flip it around and then we can engrave the other side. Nine minutes later, and these are done. And these just look so good. The engravings are deep and I just love it. Let's engrave and cut out the base floor. And this was also done 25% faster than on my other laser cutter. And using this camera actually works okay. You can line up the stuff, but I don't think it's 100% precise. But it is easier to look at the monitor and see how it frames the stuff. And as you can see here, it was cutting it outside compared from where I had placed the elements. We need to engrave some more stuff. This is the half timber, and then we will also need to cut out some walls. We also need the floor for the attic and half timber for the gables. And this is the door and window frames on the 2mm plywood. And this video is not even sped up. This is real-time cutting at 1500 millimeters per minute. I ended up cutting out this corner bracket because using the camera, that's not me. I don't think it's precise enough. With this one, I have an exact 0 point where I can put the wood and know where the borders of the lasers are. I'll just put it right in here in the corner, and then I can put a piece of wood next to it. Another thing I really love about this machine is this fancy tray. You can just pull it out and then you can easily empty out everything. And this is an awesome feature because the honeycomb or these sable bars is not in the way. And this is a very good thing and very clever thought through. And now for the big test for this 60-watt laser, I have this thick piece of plywood that is 22 millimeters thick. So let's see how the machine handles it. I will make an engraving and then we will see what the result will be. So this will be for the above 6 millimeters. I'm very excited about how this will work. The engraving took about 40 minutes because I slowed it down. I really want to take advantage of this 60 watts and make a very, very deep engraving. I think we got a fire here. It's almost through in one pass. That's quite impressive. Let's give it one more pass and see if we can cut through it. I had a fire down here, but it wasn't very serious. Just turned itself off after a couple of seconds. But I had to use my jigsaw to fix the rest because it actually didn't went more than 3/4 through. But it is a very thick piece of wood. I think I'll go clean this up and then I will start assembling and painting the house. I had to cheat a bit with my jigsaw, but I think that's okay. In the future, I'm not gonna cut wood this thick. It will probably be remade in 6mm or maybe some 9mm plywood, and I think that will look great. Some of the parts also chipped off when I was sanding it, and it is probably because of the wood. I can see here it is burned inside the wood. There was probably a faulty layer here, but some harder wood and less fire, I think this can be pretty awesome. But now I will start assembling and painting the house. The house is done, and I'm actually done testing this machine, and I have decided something. But first, I will really say that this machine is quite incredible. It is very well built and everything is thought through. There is a couple of things that I would make different, but like I would like the home position to be in the back. And some measurements down in the bottom, that would be nice. And one thing I really don't like is the focus system on the Z-axis, that you have to adjust 2 screws and pull things up and down. It is just so annoying to work with. I don't know why they can't put a thing like this, where you just have 1 screw and then you just adjust it up and down. Or you could even motorize this so you could run it through software. That should be standard in all these types of machines. The air purifier is also okay, but I will still prefer having a vent right outside because it is more efficient and I could still smell the burned wood, especially after the small fire I had in here. So connecting my external pipe and suck the air outside is actually more efficient. But if you don't have these types of options, an air purifier is the second best thing. And now to the decision. I am going to install this in my workshop because I think this machine is so awesome and it will work along with my other machine. Having one that is very fast for cutting and I can get stuff done in a hurry, and the other that has a huge cutting area. So with these 2 machines working together, I think this is going to be an awesome setup. And cutting through plywood like this is not something I have to do in the future. I don't have any projects where I need to do stuff like that. But engraving that deep, that's kind of impressive. And if you're wondering what Shadows over Nadir is, that is actually the name of the campaign that I'm running with my friends. So now you know. And this is it for now. And if you already haven't done it, please hit that subscribe button. Yeah, I'll put it up here this time. Leave a comment down below what you think about this Creality Falcon2 Pro 60-watt laser and give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.